So today is all about Trequartista. We've covered it a little bit, but I thought we would I've been using the Trequartista a lot. I've covered it in a video with Manchester City, with Turkey potentially doing it. I've covered it actually with Cunha at Manchester United, doing it from a wide area. I've covered it as a number 9 in terms of Mbappe at Real Madrid and the roles that it does. And I thought we'd maybe break down the role a little bit, talk about maybe the misconceptions of it and what it is, what it does in the match engine, and then we're going to build a tactic around it. Now, of course, for me, when I think of Trequartista, I think of a number 10. So even though we know you can do it in the wide positions, the 10 positions, or the number 9, I really want to try and get it going as a number 10. So I've decided to look at a player in particular. I think the obvious one was to do Messi, but we're going to be looking at Neymar today. Neymar as the Trequartista, trying to build a tactic around him, what it does in and out of possession. Got loads of clips to show you in terms of what it does in and out of possession. Okay, so if we look at that Trequartista role to start with, what does it actually say? The Trequartista can operate in the attacking midfield or centre-forward positions, while similar to the advanced playmaking that he aims to drop into the holes between the opposition's midfield and defence. The Trequartista does, this is interesting, does something far less defensively and simply drifts around looking for space when the team is not in possession. Now that seems lazy, but it's actually super important in terms of rest attack, which is a concept that we're going to talk about during the video. As such, the rest of the team needs to carry him when defending, which I think is a little bit of a lie, but using him as the main outlet when attacking. The Trequartista is only available on attack duty. Now, if I'm watching and playing these games with Santos, if I could give it a name other than a Trequartista, it would be the playmaking shadow striker. And what I mean by that, if we just go to the tactical pad, is you get the creativity, but the word in it that I think confuses some people is the word drops. And he doesn't drop deep at all. Like if he's an advanced playmaker, you'll often see him dropping in here and even getting in between the defensive line and midfield line at times and dropping a lot deeper to get in possession. We covered it in Thomas Frank's video with Damsgaard, where AP, because he likes to drop in deep in possession. With the Trequartista, you don't get it. Everything is built around pretty much a transition and been really good in rest attack. Now, rest attack, similar to rest defense. So we talk about what the team is doing in possession and having a certain number of players. Let's say we're building on this right-hand side like this and having a couple of players situated in a good rest defense. So if there's a ball's lost, we've got a couple of players. We're not overly exposed. They're in a good possession to press the ball quickly and get it back. Rest attack is when your team is defending. They may not be kind of pressing and involved in terms of getting the ball back, but they're finding a little bit of space and trying to be clever in terms of where's that ball going to drop. Can I get a loose ball? Can I then be, if the ball is won, say in this area here, can the first pass then be fired into number 10 who can then break and move? So that's what we're talking about in rest attack. And then similarly, in possession, he's extremely aggressive. He's a goal getter, and we've got clips to show you in a minute of the goals that Neymar has been scoring. Unfortunately, these are his statistics for the season. Unfortunately, he got injured several times and it really dampened his progress throughout the season. Okay, so what we initially started with was something a little bit like this, where you just have your Trequartista as the number 10 right in the middle. And what I found is that it would often get cramped up. You know, thinking at times there's often at least a pivot in there. Sometimes two holding midfielders in a 3-4-1-2 or a 3-4-2-1 or a 4-2-3-1 or even a deeper 4-4-2. So we were getting a lot of this. So as play develops, as we can see, we've got him highlighted the number 10. As the play develops, Basso on the ball, into Schmidt. And can you see, he's often got players round him, players round him, players round him, players round him, until he gets to this point here where the tackle's been made. And he's surrounded by holding midfielders, 2 centre-halves. They're kind of shielding him there. The 6 and the 8 are shielding him a little bit. And this was a regular theme. So with that, I thought we need to change it. We want him on the ball a little bit. Now, I think it comes at the detriment in terms of he's not going to be working on this left-hand side. But I've decided to set it offset, and I did this with Turkey in the Manchester City video, that he then has a lot more room to work in. And then with the next clip, we've now got this shape. So we're building out from the goalkeeper as play develops, he's just on this right-hand side, but now he's got a little bit more room. Can you see the space? When it's in here, he's a little bit too suffocated, and now that gives him the option to run. And you can see, this is where I talk about that playmaking striker, that you need the qualities of the playmaker. If we look at the attributes in a minute, if we highlight the Trequartista, needs to be good dribbling, finishing, first touch, passing technique, anticipation, composure, decisions, flair, off the ball, vision, acceleration, agility and balance, because it's kind of two roles in one. It's the playmaker and having the ability to pass, but also getting into that penalty area. As soon as he realised he wasn't getting the ball there, Neymar, he was then advancing to pretty much be a second striker. And this clip kind of just show the playmaking of it, where it's just a ping off, one touch pass, beautiful pass, and then he's getting in the box. Does he? I don't think he actually scores. No, the goalkeeper comes out and claims it. But it just shows you that he links play, clips it in, beautiful vision, and then wants to get on the end of things in terms of where I think it works really well as a striker sometimes. You know, the Mbappe role that we're going to cover in a future video. Trequartista up front will suit Mbappe in the game perfectly. And then here, he ends up getting a penalty for the team. Here he is. So once again, there's his little position. As the play develops, he's just going to move into that right space a little bit. So a little bit more room to work in. Links play, get an overlap in. Look how high he is as a playmaker. And then it's a dart. It's almost a poacher dart to the near post. And he gets fouled. And it's a penalty. So with that, you know that your Trequartista isn't going to drop very often. Even that little play that he did where he flipped it round the corner and then got into the box, he was actually still quite high. You're not going to get the Trequartista helping him build up like you would with an AP. And then I think the defensive play is sometimes overlooked. We said it, you know, he doesn't help defensively, and it's not the case. Like we know even in the game, Neymar isn't great, is he, as a defensive kind of outlet in terms of how well he plays. But just watch what happens as this highlight develops. So he'll start screening the number 8. He goes towards him. You know, it's not amazing, but he's in a half-decent position. You know, he's stopping that player driving forward. He's got himself not back behind the ball, but he's in a half-decent position. Look where he is now. There. If I just bring it back a touch, there, as the ball gets turned over, that is rest attack right there. So he is now, if the ball drops to the 5, he's going to be in a good outlet. Or if Igor Vinicius gets it as we play, the pass ends up being a little bit poor and he doesn't end up getting there. But do you see the idea behind that rest attack where he's getting involved without pressing too much? He's helping out. He pressed the number 8. And then as it goes into that final third, he's waiting for that ball to be picked up. He's helping out a little bit, kind of ignores him. But the idea is now is because there's been a loss of possession, look, as we freeze the ball on Gilles. Loss of possession, he's now ready to pounce. Gets himself into a lovely pocket, in, and then we're off. And then he's now moving into that almost as a shadow striker role. Gets in, drives in, lays it off. Another nice little bit of play. Doesn't get involved in the game again, but gets a shot away. That's because of rest attack. All right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to put it into my final vision, which is this here. So this is the tactic that we've built on. We've had a successful start. We've tweaked as it's gone on. We've just lost our first game against Corinthians, but we've had a decent start considering we've just been promoted back to the top division. So we've offset Neymar and then a couple of other roles in and behind to kind of support it. So sweeper keeper on defend, wing back on support. He's going to give us a little bit of width. Complete. What I don't want is him going in here as an inverter, blocking up that space for Neymar to work in that right half space. I want it all to be for that Trequartista. Left-hand side, wing back on defend because we've got higher width on this side. 2 central defenders on defend. I haven't done much in terms of them. DLP on support to give us, can we find that pass? We had that pass into Neymar when he finds that pocket. Behind him, supporting him, we've got an anchor. Can they hold the shape? Supporting, we know Neymar's not going to go, but we've got that immediate pass. Can the anchor win it? And then get it into Neymar, who's got that rest attack. The right-hand side, we've changed a little bit. Immediately had Nathan up here as a winger on support, but I actually thought that it kind of blocks up the space. And if he's starting a little bit higher, it then brings another defender back. And we've got a 2v2 rather than a 1v1. I wanted Neymar to really exploit more space. So having Nathan starting a little bit deeper should allow Neymar to have a little bit more space. So wing back on support for him. Trequartista, bog standard, with the ringer on that side, bog standard winger, and then I've gone pressing forward. I've done pressing forward. I started with a target forward on support, but then I thought, can I have that presser really pushing that defence back? The further he pushes that defence back, the more room it's going to leave and the deeper they're going to get for maybe a late run from Neymar and allow him to have more space in here to play. All right? Positive mentality, wide attacking width, so we create as much space in the middle as possible. We're going to play out a defence and focus through the middle. Shorter passing, slightly higher, because we want possession numbers. I don't want us to miss that, the ball going over the top. I want to play through the thirds into Neymar, work into the box with low crosses. He gets into that penalty area. Remember that penalty? He gets into the penalty area. Most Trequartistas, I imagine, are not going to be great in the air. So low crosses for tap-ins, cutbacks, that sort of thing. In transition, counter press and counter. Let's get him working a little bit. It doesn't mean they just put their hands on their hips and do absolutely nothing. They will work. It will work in the game regardless and do a little bit of structure with us. Counter attack. So when we have that pass into him, it's that rest attack word. Sorry for saying it so much, but rest attack. Can we fire and get it in so he can drive with the ball higher up? Distribute to centre backs. Out of possession, FM, we're going to press high, trap outside, so we're a little bit narrower out of possession. All right, guys, that tactic is available for the Patreons. Link down in the description if you want to support the channel and get the tactics as direct download. Let me know. We're going to cover a player role, go into a little bit more depth in terms of what it does. Next week, we're talking Libero, and then we've got Engange after that. After those two next videos, it's up to you guys. So let me know down in the comments what player role you would like me to build a tactic around in future videos. Thanks for watching. See you later.